Hi everyone. We have today with us Muskan Puri. She is learning French from School of French Language, and she is learning it from Canada, Calgary. I believe I'm right, Muskan, saying that you are from Calgary, Canada.
Yes. I'm from Calgary, Canada, and I'm studying French over here with Sir.
Okay, so Muskan, tell me about your experience of learning French with School of French Language.
School of French Language has been an amazing support to learn French, and I've been I have been doing B1 from here, and I've learned A1 and A2 levels previously, and it has been an amazing experience. Like the teachers, they really help with your doubts, and they really help me to grasp things better, and yeah, it has been a lovely experience.
Great.
Studying
Great.
from here.
Great. So you started your learning French, your journey of learning French. You started from India. You visited School of French Language branch, and then you started learning here. And then when you moved on to Canada, you are now taking classes, online classes. So is there any difference between the classes that you had here and the online classes?
Well, there is, of course, a little bit of a time difference, I'd say. But yeah, this as such, like teaching wise, there's not much difference. Like I felt like since we do all the classes with our face cameras on, so video cam on, so it's nice. So it just feels like a similar similar kind of interaction. It's just that when you switch off your video cam and speaker off, so it's then you don't feel like you feel connected. But when you're like in the classroom doing and participating, then you do feel connected, and everybody is given a chance to speak and answer questions. So yes.
Okay, so what are all the advantages, Muskan, for learning French? Like most of the people here say that they learn French because they are going to Montreal. So, but you are not in the Montreal part. You are not in Quebec, but still you're learning French and you're doing it so well. So, what all are the advantages of learning French in Canada?
So French is like the second language in Canada. It's the second official language, like English. So if you're preparing for English and giving IELTS, you need to give an IELTS for French, which is TEF, so, which would add into your PR points. So it is important, and moreover, like to understand people over here, you should know French, because it's a part of a culture over here, and everybody's learning it, and and it's nice to know a different language. It helps you to it also improves your English as well, because like French and English vocabulary, they're interconnected. So if you're doing French, you will ultimately do nice in IELTS as well, because it's just like a level up.
Great, because most of the vocabulary that comes from English itself. Yeah. In
Yes.
French,
So
we
if
see
you're
that the 50%
looking,
of vocabulary comes from English itself. That's very right. That's
yes.
very
So
right.
if you're like looking to improve your vocabulary just for yourself, or maybe for IELTS, or whatever the purpose is, um, so, like French is a great option to do that, and like points for IELTS are similar to the points for the test for the French language over here, which is TEF.
Right, right. And now the government has also increased the points for the PR purposes. If you do TEF, you will now get the person will now get 72 additional points instead of the 35 points which they were earlier getting. So now the government has also increased the points. So that's very well said, Muskan. The French is very helpful in getting the PR over there. And what about the job opportunities?
Well, it increases job opportunities within the government as well. Like if you're applying for the government jobs, because like they do offer like to some sometimes some government jobs, they are open to international students, like for translation purposes or, volunteering in that. So it really helps because, you know like 4 languages, Hindi, English, Punjabi, French.
Yeah.
So you could be very helpful over there.
Yes. Great.
And not only that, even like for some conversion jobs, like text conversions over the websites for different companies. So language is helpful. It opens that one barrier. And second thing is that you can you can teach French if you've learned French well
Okay.
And same with Hindi and Punjabi. So it just opens avenues to earn money.
Great. And is there any price difference? That means the person with only one language, like English, a person knows only one language, and the other person knows both the languages, that is English and French. So is there any pay package difference between the person who's having both the languages and the person with just one language?
I'm not sure about the difference in pay packages, but for sure they prefer the person, like the job preference is for the person who knows both the languages.
Great.
That's for sure.
Great.
I'm not sure about the pay difference as of now, but yeah, but definitely they prefer a person who knows both the languages than only English.
So what is your purpose of learning French?
See, for me, it's I'm preparing for this IELTS of French, which is TEF, and also it's just that French is a beautiful language in itself, and I want to learn. And as I said before, it just improves you as a person, as a vocabulary, as your English vocabulary. It also improves with it, and yes, and it's more for self-improvement and for and if it's benefiting me in like getting settled over here, so why not?
So, but why are you learning French from School of French Language from India while you are there in Canada? So what advantages you see by studying here with School of French Language? Because there are many people teaching French in Canada also.
Yes, there are so many people teaching, but the thing is that, in Canada, the immersions, they're a little expensive if you enroll into them. And they're very they're very costly. So it's not that nice. And secondly, you're just learning from French to French. I even took a university course, but they just taught from French to French, which was a little tough in the beginning for us to understand. But I had a base with School of French Language ready, so that's why I was able to do that that course well. Because I had many fellow students really finding it tough, and they were from India only. So they found it a little tough because they were facing it for the first time, and maybe they were doing it from French to French. So yes, the method, they found it a little tough and daunting. So yes, that really helped me. And learning from India, it's really helpful because you have 2 other languages in India, Hindi and Punjabi, at least in Punjab. You cannot really convert English to French directly, but translation from Punjabi or Hindi to French is exact because the grammatical structures are very similar.
So you mean to say that the French is similar to that of Punjabi and Hindi, and the way the School of French Language teaches you French by mixing it from with Punjabi and Hindi, that you find more suitable towards your studies?
Yes. Personally, I find that more suitable because, you have a reference from Hindi and Punjabi because it's your native tongue, it's your native language, and why not? You understand that better, and from that, you're going to French, so it's much easier.
Yeah, so you're rightly saying, Muskan, that we should be learning a foreign language directly from our mother tongue. So which we should not be interacting with some other foreign language. So what people, if we do it from English to French, then it is two different languages that we are learning, and we are not doing it from our mother tongue, because we are more good in our mother tongue rather than any other language that we do. And it is always advisable to do it from the with the mother tongue. So you find that this is, and what about the time flexibilities and other schedule that you feel if somehow School of French Language is doing better than the people there in Canada?
The time flexibilities. No, I feel that I have, like, we are in a different time zone, so yes, that's a different thing. But it's okay. Like, so many people in India, international students are studying, are doing their courses, and they're like awake at 3 a.m. So it's much better. Like, it's like really personalized. The timings are very personalized for me, so that's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm not awake at 3 a.m. doing things. So I'm very grateful about that at this point, because like so many of my friends who are in India right now, they're giving their final exams on like at 1 a.m. in the morning, according to match up according to this time. So it's a little difficult, of course, because of the COVID and everything. But it is also due to COVID I'm able to learn, because then this whole idea of teaching online wouldn't have occurred.
Right.
Like wouldn't have like gone full throttle.
Right. So the thing that the batch timing which starts at early morning or the late in the evening is suitable to you, because you can do all your work within the day. Once you cover up with your day, and the late evening you can have a class, or before the start of the day you can have a class. So in that way it is not mixing up with your daily activities. You find this as an interesting part.
Yes, actually. That is also one point. Thank you for reminding me about that as well.
Great. So,
Yes.
great. So, any take for the students you would like to finally tell the viewers about this, about your experience, and why should they learn from? Because most of the students here, they feel that French is only needed when they go to Quebec. So, what's your take onto it?
No, I feel like it's great to know French all over Canada. It's not just limited to Quebec. It's just nicer if you know French, because like if your ultimate aim is to get a PR or something like that, then French has equal weightage as IELTS.
Right.
So it is important, and like you're getting double the points, so it just makes sense too. And like this factor is also in our control only, that you can learn, if you're learning English, you can learn French side by side, and mix it and match it, and it would also improve your score in IELTS, and if French is there, and which would also give you points. So yes.
And what would you recommend to the students coming from India to Canada? Any take for the students, those who are coming from India to Canada, on French language? What is your advice to them?
Well, I'd say definitely prepare well for French as you're doing for English. They're both equally important, because Canada gives a lot of preference to the people who know both English and French. So yes, you need to be a little francophone for that, as they say. And and it's important, prepare well. And if you're giving IELTS, definitely prepare for the French exam as well. So
Great. So that was great talking to you, Muskan, on this, and I am sure with your suggestions to the students, the time that you have given to the students, and your valuable feedback will go a long way for the students, for their better settlement. Because once the student, they know it from, they hear it from their colleague, or from the other students who's presently residing in Canada, that gives them the more sense that yes, the language is important for us, and we should be learning French before we go to Canada. Okay, that was nice. Thank you so much for taking time out and interviewing with School of French Language.
Thank you so much for having me here.